All right, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Start that again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Mimic TCG. So today, like I said in the last video, we're getting a bit fishy. We are looking at Merfolk, Pauper Merfolk to be precise. Had a little look at a few builds, and I've explored the format a little bit more. Feeling a bit more confident with this one than with the Eldrazi Tron. That was more, a little fanboy thing that deck was for me for the Eldrazi. But so let's get into the. Actually, before I start, right? Okay, we're saying we've got 63 cards in the deck. That's because 3 of them are options we're going to explore that we could replace things with. So anyway, lands, 2 Evolving Wilds, because it's important we find our the right coloured mana. And then we've got 7 forests, 6 islands, and 1 remote isle. This was going to be a 7-7 split between forest and islands, but I thought remote isle is good for card cycling. We're running 4-drop as our biggest dude, so I thought late game this works quite well. And even early game if we're struggling to find what we need, but we have enough mana to tick over. And then we've got 4 Thornwood Falls, comes into play tapped, gains as a life. And then 2 Woodland Stream. The reason I don't want to play 4/4 of this is because I don't want to play too many tap lands. We do want to be going, turn 1, 1-drop, turn 2, 2-drop, or a Rancor or something. So there is the, but you can't not play tap lands. You can't not play the dual lands. It's important, so they're in there, but just not 8 of them. It's too many, especially with the Evolving Wilds. So, onto the 1-drops, and as I go along, I'm going to discuss the alternative options we have, or that I've looked at. So, first on is the Mist Cloaked Herald. So it's 1-drop, it's 1/1, it can't be blocked. That's what it says on the tin, right? And the same thing for Triton Shorestalker. They're the same card. 1/1, can't be blocked. Just different names. So simple as that. We've got 8 1/1 unblockables. We want to get that on turn 1 and start punching in the face. So our other option for a 1-drop Merfolk was Jade Bearer. So Jade Bearer, when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on another target Merfolk you control. I am tempted to try this, but I think that puts 2. We'd have to take out something like Triton Shorestalker or the Mistcloaked Herald, and then that's putting too much pressure on us for the mana. Maybe, I don't know, for green. But also, we don't want to be playing that on turn 1 because it's another target Merfolk, so you can't drop it and then make a 2/2 on turn 1 with Jade Bearer. So that's why I haven't included that, because we have other ways to make our dudes big, and I value the unblockable ability over the extra 1 power. Could be wrong. We'll soon find out. So that's that one out. The rest of the 1-drops, we've gone for 4 Rancor. It's a 1-drop enchantment aura. So enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and trample. So trample is going to be essential, I think, in getting us through some final bits of damage. However, Rancor, once it goes into the graveyard, it comes back to our hand, so it's always going to be there. So maybe 4 is too many. Maybe I should be running extra copies of Vines of the Vastwood, which is our next 1-drop, which is it's a 1-drop. Basically gives our creatures hexproof, and you can kick it for 2 green to give it +4/+4 until the end of turn. The other 2 are in the sideboard. You may want to bring them out and get rid of Rancor. Put in 2 Vastwoods and take out 2 Rancors, or have a 3/3 split. I'll decide. But this is what I'm going for at the moment. Obviously, our other option for that could be Dive Down, Maybe makes it easier with more blue. Can focus the mana base a bit more, but they're essentially the same card, apart from the fact that Dive Down gives us +0/+3, so it's good for also blocking and making sure our dudes survive. So that, you know, it is tempting. Yeah, but I'm not sure which one I want. I like Vines of Aswood because I like I like playing green Stompy a lot. And that you know, it's a good green Stompy card. So maybe this should be called Merfolk Stompy. I don't know. I don't think, can they stomp if they've got tails? I mean, most of them have feet, so probably. Yeah. So Dive Down was an option. So onto our 2-drops, who are running 4 Spreading Seas. This isn't for the island walk mechanic, which we do have a little bit of, but this is mainly to take our opponents off their mana that they need and draw us a card. And if we were running things like Rootwater Commando over here, he's a 3-drop 2/2 with Island Walk. So again, he would be unblockable. However, I'll talk about him in a minute. That we have got, our next 2-drop is Stony Brook Banneret, and that's a 1/1 for 2 with Island Walk. So again, would be unblockable with Spreading Seas, but it's a 1/1. And the main reason she is in here is for the Merfolk and Wizard spells cost 1 less to cast. Not that we're playing Wizard spells, but I only want 2. I'm not too concerned about seeing Stony Brook all the time because, again, our most expensive things are 4-drop. We're mainly in the 3-drops, so it's not a huge deal. It also doesn't help with River Herald's Boon because it isn't a specific Merfolk spell. So that's mainly for making our creatures cheaper, which is good for, I suppose, flooding the board a bit. But yeah, two of those. And then 2 River Herald's Boon. Again, a play set in here could be, you could justify having a play set. However, I've gone for Rancor because it's the same, it gives us the same power, yet it comes back to our hand. Obviously, if we put +1/+ counter on a creature and that creature dies, that's that gone. So I'm going to try 2 River Herald's Boon with 4 Rancor. Again, these Vines of Aswood, Rancor, and Boon, I can see you can play around with those numbers. I'm going to be playing around with those numbers. I'm going to play a league with this deck, see what happens. Play around with those numbers. Play around with some other options we had. So onto the 3-drops. Now I was thinking about the Commando over here. So again, 3-drop 2/2 with Island Walk, which works well with Spreading Seas. And also would work well against Blueback Delver. However, I chose to go for Water Trap Weaver over that. Again, 2/2 for 3. Yeah, it lets us tap target creature an opponent controls, and that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, which allows us to get through with more damage. And also, having an unblockable is great, but if they've got big dudes on board, or if they've got something with Death Touch or something, oh no, it'd be unblockable, it doesn't matter. So if they've got creatures on the board, although our guys are unblockable, we can swing in. We might not be able to because we don't want to leave ourselves open to a counter attack. We don't want to keep guys up for blocking, just the die. So I've gone for Water Trap Weaver. This might be wrong. This might come out. Commander might go in. That's him gone. So there we go. 60 cards. Brilliant. Excellent. That's what we like. Rest of the 3-drops. Jungleborn Pioneer. This little guy is 2/2 for 3, which isn't great, but it does make a creature token with hexproof. So that's always good. So it's 3 power for 3 mana, one of which has hexproof. why wouldn't you play that, right? So our next one is Tishana's Wayfinder. It's 2/2 for 3 mana, and it explores, so it could be a 3/3. Could cycle through a land, helps us get through the deck a bit more. Pretty self-explanatory. Our last card, creature card, the Jade Guardian. It's a 4-drop for 2. It's a 2/2 for 4, even. Not great, but it has hexproof, and lets us put a +1/+1 counter on a target Merfolk you control. So that includes itself, unlike the Jade Bearer. Okay, that's that. There are other options. I've seen a couple of lists running this. A snake, can't remember what it's called now. It's a flying with flash. Was it like 3 mana for a 1/1 flyer with flash and death touch? Which I could, you could see against. It has its use, right? Flash, death touch flasher. It's always going to be useful, right? So our sideboard is quite basic, really. I've tried to be a bit more focused with the sideboard, unlike Eldrazi-tron. So 2 counter spell. That goes in against like control. Maybe a bit goes in against burn. Also maybe against Tron decks, possibly. It's got 2 Crashing Tide. It's a 3-drop. It's a sorcery, but it has flash. If we control a Merfolk, we get to return target creature to its owner's hand, and we get to draw a card. So again, that allows us to bounce back someone's win condition, clear the board so we can get through for lethal in an attack. And then we've got some natural states. Destroy artifact or enchantment with converted mana cost 3 or less. There's a pigeon on the roof. Making a lot of noise. What are you doing up there? Oh well, surprised I could hear that from outside. Anyway, yeah, so that'll come in against. Oh my goodness, be quiet. That'll come in against. What's it called? The artifact one. I can't think. All I can hear is pigeon. You done? Affinity. It's going to come in against Affinity. And also, oh my goodness, it's so loud. Boris Metalcraft. Anyway, we've got 2 more Vines of Vastwood against decks with heavy removal. 2 for the clan coming against burn. Obviously. Moment's Peace. Sorry, I should be saying what these do. 2 for the clan, gain 5 life. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, gain 10. Is it done now? It's still making loads of noise. Is that coming against burn? And maybe it's like probably just burn actually. Moment's Peace, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn for 2 mana when it has flashback. Serene Heart, this is going to be our anti-boggles card. I'm wondering if I wanted more than 1 in here, but I haven't played against boggles yet. And I put a few games on here and haven't seen boggles once, so it's there just in case. Relic of Progenitus to go up against Delver, and I guess zombies. Zombies might be a thing. I've seen some zombies decks, like online, and they, that takes them off that play as well. And then Curse of Chains, so enchant creature. At the beginning of each upkeep, tap enchanted creature. You can see, maybe we don't want to run Crashing Tide. We can run 4 Curse of Chains, but the reason Crashing Tide is in there as a 2/2 split is because Crashing Tide should, in theory, have flash, right? That's the theory. So I could see an argument for having in some of those alternatives we said about, like the Island Walk guy, if we're up against like a blue-black Delver or something. that could work, but also with spreading season stuff. But I'm happy with this sideboard. I'm confident that it's going to do well. So we're going to go straight into the Pauper League now. Take a quick break, get a cup of tea, and then we're going to play a league match. So yeah, stay tuned.